What's up YouTube? Today I've got 5 gift ideas for the Procreate user in your life, whether it's you or a friend or a family member. Now the first category we're going to look at is grips, and there are plenty of different styles, colors and configurations for the grips. There is the tubular style design where you end up having a small hole in the middle, you poke the Apple Pencil through and you end up with a slightly more chunky grip on the side of the Apple Pencil. The alternative is then a full body design where usually they have like a colored tip to go on the end as well, made out of silicone a lot of the time, just to give you that grippy feel. Now when picking a grip, it's important to think about what it is that you actually want to get out of the grip. Is it a larger grip size? Is the Apple Pencil too small and too narrow, so you'd like a larger grip to reduce some of the strain to the inside of your hand? But one of the most important factors to consider, in my opinion anyway, is charging. Because if you have an Apple Pencil Gen 2, then it will charge on the side of the iPad, of course. And I think the best grips are the ones that don't get in the way of the charging and is somewhat something that you don't have to even think about. For example, the silicone ones, they will still charge on the side of the iPad, and there's obviously then just a tiny bit of silicone in the middle. But my favorite grip out of all of the ones that I've actually used is this one here by Uppercase Designs. There's a flat cutout on one side, completely flat, so it's completely uninterrupted. It sits on the side of the iPad completely, again, uninterrupted, and it can just charge perfectly. And you've got a nice grip, you've got a flat edge to rest your thumb on, and then your finger goes on the opposite side. Now once they sent this out to me, by the way, this video is not sponsored by any of the companies in today's video, this is just simply my thoughts and all the accessories that I've collected over time. But once they sent this out to me, it's one of the only accessories that I've just continued to use afterwards, because I don't have to think about it. I don't have to worry about where the grip is or finding it or even just give it a moment's thought. It's been on my iPad now for dozens of tutorials, and I just continue to use it because it's just there, it feels nice, it's comfortable, and I really enjoy using it. By the way, there'll be links to every single product that you'll see in this video in the description down below. The second category we're going to talk about is screen covers. Now they fall into 2 categories, and I think the second one is something that people don't know very much of. The first is the standard screen cover that you would put on your iPad that you fiddle around with. You find the little stickers and you align the screen cover, you peel it off, and then it is on your iPad. And they're the ones I refer to as the permanent ones. Now they're not actually permanent. Of course you can take them off, but once you take them off, you cannot reapply it. And probably the most known about brand in the space is Paperlike. It's a paper feeling screen cover. There's loads of other different brands, and each brand will pick a different type of texture for their screen covers. I tend to think about it a little bit like sandpaper. Some of them will have very fine levels of detail, and the others may be a little bit more bumpy and lumpy, so have a far more sort of tactical feedback through the Apple Pencil while you're drawing. But the second category, which is actually my favorite category of screen cover, is the magnetic ones. Now, depending on what iPad you have, you'll be able to take advantage of the magnetic screen covers. They tend to have 2 strips down either side, which magnetically attach to the surface of the iPad and align with the magnets inside the iPad. And that's it. You have a screen cover that you can take on and off anytime you want. If you want to enjoy the beautiful iPad screens that we have and watch a film, peel it off, put it in the sleeve that a lot of them come with, and then put it back on when you want to draw. I think it's the best solution for this type of thing. They tend to be a tiny bit more money, but the fact you can jump between the 2 different options, I think is the best bang for buck. I'm currently using one by ESR, and I found that on Amazon. Again, links in the description down below. Otherwise, I have used loads of screen covers from loads of different companies, and I do like the permanent ones, but my preference is the magnetic ones. A few recommendations: you've got Paperlike, you've got Uppercase Designs, ESR, Doodro, and Pen Tips. They also have a pen mat, which is the magnetic screen cover. And category number 3 is gonna be different tips for the Apple Pencil. There's a few different sort of variations on these. There are the sort of silicone tips that you can poke the Apple Pencil tip into, but there are other ones that you can unscrew the tip of the Apple Pencil right out and then replace it with a brand new one from a different company that may have a slightly different texture or material rather than the plastic of the Apple Pencil. Pen Tips as a company are really good at this. There are lots of varying different tips. You can get ones with metal on the end, You've got then the fuzzy tip, you've got the pen tips 2, which is a silicone style tip, as well as just interchangeable ones that you just poke on the end of your pencil on the plastic tip that comes with it. Now, all of them have different purposes. You can use the metal one, for example, for note taking on a screen cover. You definitely need a screen cover. But a lot of the other ones you can actually then draw on glass perfectly fine. They actually have a quiz on their website if you want to go ahead and check that out and find out which one is best for you and your purpose and what need it is you're going to use them for. And I actually have a discount code to pen tips, which again you'll find linked in the description down below if you want to save yourself some money. Now, number 4 on my list is actually going to be the drawing boards. What's a drawing board? Well, a drawing board is like an easel that you pop your iPad into, and then you can have it in a slightly different orientation than flat on a desk or surface. So for example, I've got a Sketchboard Pro, and you can actually pop the legs out in multiple different configurations, and it will raise it up a few degrees so it's more upright facing you. So if you struggle and you end up with pain in your back and shoulders, sometimes hunched over a desk, this is a must for you. In fact, when I first started creating all these tutorials, I didn't use a sketchboard. Once they sent me one, which is now years ago, I haven't stopped using it since. It's in every single one of my tutorials. It's so much more comfortable to use and draw on. That little bit of upright angle is just a dream. You can even use it in horizontal fashion, you can use it in a vertical fashion, you can use it flat as well, because it has very small, flat, rounded rubber tips on the back as well. So you can use it flat on a surface if you just want to use it on your lap, for example. Now, while we're talking about the Sketchboard Pro, the actual inside of them is actually made out of this kind of rubber silicone kind of insert. And the cool thing about the sketchboards is if you change your iPad in the future to a completely different one, a slightly larger one, then you can actually just order the insert and keep the plastic outside frame and then swap the insert around, and it tends to be cheaper doing it that way. Now, there's lots of other different companies though to consider. There's a company that I know of called Sketch Slate, and they make them out of beautiful wood finishes, and you can have it made custom to your iPad size. I'll leave a link to them, of course, in the description down below. There's also companies on Etsy, but Sketch Slate is the other alternative that I know of that tend to have really good reviews on their products. Now, number 5 on my list is this lot. It's drawing gloves. Every single company has a drawing glove. What is a drawing glove and why do you need one? Well, this one, for example, this is by Paperlike, and you can see on the side of it, you've got their branding, but there's actually just this soft little patch here on the side. And every company tends to do that. They tend to have a nice smooth surface. That surface is there so that you can glide across the surface of your iPad without sort of adding any false touches to the screen, because sometimes your bare palm can actually sort of interfere with the screen. It can make it feel as if you're drawing on one side and you've got your palm on the other, that there's 2 touches. Now, the iPad is very good at eliminating false touches from your palm, but it doesn't do it every single time. And I've been using, again, a drawing glove in all of my tutorials that I've recorded over the years. I just mix between them. I don't have a preference on any one of them necessarily. They all have slightly different designs to them, some that loop over the hand, some that have empty fingertips so you can just see all of your fingertips and use them if needs be. And as I said, every single company have a drawing glove. You just need to find one that matches your kind of style. They have little size guides on their website as well a lot of the time, so you can find the size that fits you best. Now, I tell you what, while you're here, I'm going to give you a bonus pick as well, because if you are someone that uses Procreate a lot of the time freely to create your own creations in flow state, well, then you might find this interesting. This is the PenPad by Pen Tips. It is a shortcut panel. Now, typically what would happen with these is you place it off to the side on your less dominant hand, and you would leave your dominant hand on screen, and then you would navigate the actual shortcuts on the left hand side, for example, of the actual panel, whether it be changing the brush up and down very quickly, switching to your eraser and your pen, jump into your quick menu, and much more. There's loads of different shortcuts on there, and if you're someone, like I said, who tends to just get lost in a drawing for an hour or 2 on end, then this might actually be a quick time saver. Now, these types of products are very popular in the Photoshop space for digital artists, especially professionals as well. So this might be a product that you find interesting as well. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you like this video, you might even like these ones on the screen now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.